Good morning or afternoon or evening, and wherever you are, in different time zones, in different countries, different time zones. Alright. Right, I'm going to start into my next paragraph of Marcionism, reaction to Marcion, after his evangelism throughout the Roman Empire in the 2nd century. There began to surface several energetic responses to Marcion of Sinope, that indirectly may be attributed to his early work and mission. These included the expansion of the New Testament column. Now, in your original gospel of evangelicalism, the New Testamentum of Maricon Sinope, gospel of evANGELion, alright, was one gospel only, which is a sweet short version of the Gospel of Luke. And I said this in my previous videos, I believe. Alright, but the expansion of the New Testament column has to do with the Council of Nicaea with Constantine, because the Gospels we have now, the 4 Gospels, or the author of confusion if I'm honest, because they put in the virgin birth narrative of a Messiah. Alright? And that's the problem, because it goes back to Greek mythology, Egyptian mythology of the virgin birth narrative, even back to Roman ancient civilization of Middle Ages when it came up with the virgin birth narrative. So guys, you need to be careful of that, even though it's nice and sweet and esoteric, but the real Jesus was not born of the flesh. Alright? Now, and carry on. I was saying these include the expansion of the New Testament column. They added stuff into the New Testament, hence for the 4 Gospels in Matthew, Mark, Luke and John. They added stuff when they shouldn't, such as the church tradition, the rule of the faith, the apostolic succession, which all introduced to undermine Marcion's insistence on prima scriptura. I'll read that again just to clarify. Alright, so Marcion's indirectly may be attributed to his early work and mission. Alright, these included the expansion of the New Testament column, such ideas as church tradition, the rule of the faith, apostolic succession, which were all introduced to undermine Marcion's insistence on prima scriptura. Alright? They added stuff into the biblical canon in the Gospels of Mark, Matthew, Luke and John. Matthew, Mark, Luke and John. Matthew and the Gospel of Matthew, which is the Gospel of the Jews, really. It's the Jewish Gospel, and Luke is the Gentile Gospel. So the Jew, being the Jewish nation, the Israelites, wanted the birth narrative, which is nothing more than a pagan narrative, mythology, along with the Gentile Gospel, which is the Luke, pagan birth narrative of the virgin born. Alright? So anyway, The concept of apostolic succession made it possible for the authority and prerogatives of the Catholic leadership to issue detectives, and assign the label authentic and or spurious to Christian writings, vying for canonical status. Many Gospels forgeries and interpolated copies began to appear. Church leaders arbitrarily set up the standards for accepting a writing as authentic and authoritative. The criteria including a claim to have been written by an apostle, a claim to have been written by someone who knew an apostle, and a writing that had to reflect the beliefs of the broad part of the proto-orthodox movement. Okay, in other words, this is the church tradition. Okay, and to be honest, I have nothing against church tradition, but when it put in fear and shame tactics into people's lives, that's what I don't like. Since many of the new authorized writing had no basis for apostolic authorship's claims, okay, the church looked for and created stories on the finest of rationally to claim apostolicity for various expanded columns. In other words, like I said, they added on to the Gospels. This is a place where Protestants are adherent to the sola scriptura principle need to take a breath and realize that many of the New Testament books, which were firmly declared canonical, are there only on the account of the church tradition. Okay? As the pastor Rich Bonhoeffer, can't even pronounce his name, put it, Protestants denying the authority of a tradition have cut off the branch on which they sit. After Marcion commenced his evangelistic crusade, a significant portion of Christian literature became devoted to the apologetic or polemical defenses of the orthodoxy, forgeries of the Christian semi-scriptures mushroomed, and some of these pseudepigrapha were composed to counteract some of the aspects of Marcion's theology. These included the interpolated pastoral epistles of the 2nd century, apparently edited and expanded in the opposition to the Marcionite Christian faith as they began to contain explicit anti-Marcion Christian theology, and Apostles' Creed, which is generally recognized as forgery. Okay, I'll go on to my next video on this. Somewhat to be